Life can feel overwhelming at times. And it gets even harder when you find yourself constantly struggling against the challenges and pressures of the world around you. It's exhausting, isn't it? Trying to fight every battle and solve every problem can wear you down. In the end, when you try to take on everything, you might end up feeling defeated. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't come from reacting to every single thing that upsets or disturbs you. True peace comes from realizing that not everything needs your energy or attention. Some things are best left alone, and that's perfectly okay. I understand this isn't always easy. It's much easier to say than to do. But I want to help guide you through it, step by step, so you can experience the peace your heart longs for and wins every inner battle you have. Let's walk this journey together. Life is unpredictable and doesn't follow your rules. It has no guide, no parent to care if you're happy or sad. You may often wish that life would go a little easier on you, that things would unfold smoothly. But life doesn't work like that. It doesn't take into account whether you've had a hard day or if you're already at your limit. Life just keeps moving, throwing situations your way, regardless of how you feel. This may seem harsh, but it's not meant to discourage you. It's meant to remind you that life isn't something you can control. The reality is, life won't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause for you to catch your breath. But that's not where your story ends. Each day you wake up, it's important to prepare your heart and mind for the challenges that might come your way. From the moment you open your eyes, you are stepping into a world that is full of unpredictability. There will be moments that test you, whether it's the small inconveniences like traffic or something more significant like personal loss or disappointment. But if you start the day with the awareness that difficulties might arise, you can also prepare yourself to face them with a calm heart. It's about setting your intention to handle what comes without losing yourself in the process. Instead of being caught off guard, you can ground yourself in the understanding that challenges are part of your journey. Problems are simply a part of life. They're inevitable. You can't avoid them, no matter how hard you try. As much as you wish you could escape them, problems are like the air you breathe. They surround you in one form or another. It might be the big things, like a financial struggle, or smaller annoyances, like an unexpected delay in your plans. But the truth is, no matter how well you plan or how hard you work to avoid them, problems will still show up. This isn't meant to make you feel helpless, but rather to help you accept that challenges are part of living. When you accept that struggles will come, you can stop wasting your energy wishing things were different and start learning how to live through them with grace. Also, fear holds many people back from living the life their heart longs for. It can paralyze you, keeping you from taking steps toward your dreams, your goals, and your true self. It's what keeps you stuck in a cycle, repeating the same actions day after day, wishing deep down that you could break free but never quite finding the courage to do so. Fear has a way of trapping you, making you feel as though it's safer to stay where you are, even when that place isn't where you want to be. I want to remind you that fear is not real in the way you might think it is. Fear only exists in your mind, in your imagination. It's a story you tell yourself about what might happen if you take that leap, try something new, or step out of your comfort zone. Fear is a shadow, growing larger the more you avoid it, but it's not something that has power over you unless you give it that power. It only becomes real when you let it stop you from taking action, when you allow it to hold you back from living fully. The fear doesn't exist outside of your thoughts. It's your response to it that makes it seem real. So how do you face it? How do you rise above the fear that's keeping you from becoming the person you were meant to be? The answer, although it may seem a little unsettling at first, lies in looking at the reality of death. Yes, it sounds harsh, but consider this. One day, you will die. And when that day comes, all the things that make you fearful now, all the worries and doubts, won't matter at all. The time you have here is limited, and you don't get to choose how much time you'll have. When you understand that life is finite, it shifts your perspective. You realize that you can't afford to let fear dictate your actions. Because every moment you give to fear is a moment you'll never get back. Time is ticking, and you deserve to spend that time doing what truly matters to you, pursuing what brings you joy and fulfillment. Fear may always be there in the background, but it doesn't have to control you. In fact, you can acknowledge it, feel it, and still move forward. Your time on earth is precious and limited, and that's why you can't let fear steal it from you. Every dream, every desire, every step toward living as your highest self is worth pursuing, even if it scares you. Because in the end, fear is temporary, but the regret of not having lived the life you wanted can last forever. Now, let's talk about something more crucial. Being young often feels like a constant journey of trying to figure out where you belong in this world. You might find yourself searching for people who understand you, who share the same values, interests, and beliefs. It's natural to want to find your tribe, the group of people who make you feel at home, who accept and support you just as you are. It's an important part of growing up, finding connections and friendships that help shape your experiences. But here's where so many people, especially when they're young, make a mistake. When you're young, you're still figuring things out. And because of that, you're also impressionable. You want to be liked, to fit in. And sometimes that desire can be so strong that you end up bending or reshaping parts of yourself just to get approval from others. You might feel pressured to act a certain way, to change your interests, or to hide parts of yourself that you think won't be accepted by the people you're trying to impress. The need for connection and friendship is real. No one wants to feel lonely, and building relationships with others is a beautiful part of life. But what's more important is that you don't lose yourself in the process. It can be tempting to mold yourself into what you think others want you to be, but in doing that, you risk forgetting who you truly are. And the truth is, if you're constantly changing to fit other people's expectations, the connections you make won't be built on anything real. You don't have to be afraid to be yourself. It's okay to embrace all the quirky, charismatic, geeky, or unique parts of you. Those are the qualities that make you who you are, and they're worth celebrating. The world doesn't need more people who all act the same. It needs people like you, who are brave enough to be themselves, no matter what. Don't change yourself just to fit in, because the right people, the ones who are meant to be in your life, will love and accept you for exactly who you are. Remember, the friendships and connections that matter the most are the ones that don't require you to sacrifice your authenticity. When you stay true to yourself, you'll naturally attract the kind of people who value you for who you really are, not for who you're pretending to be. So, be proud of who you are. Be bold in embracing every part of yourself, because you're enough just as you are. The right people will recognize that, and they'll stick around not because you've changed to make them like you, but because they see the real you, and they love that person. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you're still with me, please leave a comment on what you learned or what you would like to add. I would appreciate it. As always, wishing you a beautiful day.